Dr. Raja, am I audible to you?
Yes, sir, audible,
Yes,
sir. The most respected Vice Chancellor of Central Agriculture University, Professor Anupam Misra, sir, and PI of this IDP NAHIP project, Dr. S. Basanta Singh, sir, and respected Dean Professor B.N. Hazarika, sir, Nodal Officer, Dean College of Horticulture and Forestry, Dean College of Agriculture. So, and then today's resource person, Dr. P.K. Singh, and all the esteemed other members of this organizing committee, and also that participants. I welcome all of you for our these 3 days webinar entitled Recent Trends in Seed Production, Processing and Marketing and Entrepreneurship Development. So this is a need of our that the quality of seed production and seeding, it is very important. As you know that the world is, some of the countries are facing a serious problem in production, and also leading to a lot of famines in our neighboring countries, Southeast Asian countries, particularly in Sri Lanka and Afghanistan. But India is economically strong and a vibrant country because of the backbone is agriculture, and the production of a good quality seed production and processing, and also marketing is well established. So we need to meet the challenges ahead due to this lot of changes in the land shrinkage and climate changes. So how we can adapt these recent trends. So in these aspects, we like to organize this program. The organizing secretary, Dr. Kapsila. With this, we have 3 days. In this 3 days webinar, we have 6 resource persons. They'll be speaking on various topics. Today, we will be hearing from Dr. P.K. Singh, professor. He will be speaking on quality seed production of cereal crops through FPO. And tomorrow, we will be hearing from Professor R.R. Hansinol, farmer chairperson, EPV and FRA, Government of India, New Delhi. He'll be presenting on present situation of seed testing laboratories in India and way forward to promote seed business in India and abroad. So, and then the next topic will be Kailash Chandra, assistant professor. He'll be speaking on scenario of a seed certification in legal system for seed quality assurance. And also further, we will be hearing from Dr. Pritham Y. Shinte, be speaking on seed production quality control and value addition. And also that Dr. Sanjay Kumar Singh will be speaking on varietal development, evaluation and release. And the last topic will be advance in insect pest management in stored seeds, that will be delivered by Dr. A.N. Singh, principal scientist and coordinator, SRP Seeds ICAR, Indian Institute of Seed Science, MAU. So these are the lineup list of speakers. Now, may I request our respected Dean, Professor B.N. Hazarika, sir. He's a nodal officer. Sir, there are more than 300 participants. They have registered for this, our 40th webinar. So under his leadership, or B.N. Hazarika, sir, is our Dean, sir. Under his leadership, we could able to complete a 40th webinar. So with this, we are completing, this is a 40th one, and this is the financial year. Sir, may I request you, sir, to address this large gathering? Sir, please.
Under the
I think there is a network issues again here. So because of that,
Yeah, there may be some network issues because of the bad weather condition. Now, is it available? Is it audible?
yes, sir, audible now, sir.
Dr.
Sir, please
Raja, am
continue.
I audible to you?
Yes, sir, audible, sir. Please
Yeah,
continue,
because of the
sir.
raining, network is disturbed. Anyway, I welcome you all for this webinar program, and I welcome all the esteemed resource person for this webinar program. As you know, this is our last, I think it seems, webinar program for this financial year, and this is the 40th number that is being conducted in the College of Horticulture and Forestry, such kind of webinar. Actually, today this webinar program, the topic is very important. As you know, the seed is the basic unit of any production, and that is why the recent advances in seed production as well as processing, etc., is also very important. And to discuss these topical issues, very esteemed resource persons are invited for their lectures, and I hope all the participants will be benefited out of it. I am happy to learn that around more than 200 participants are participating in this webinar program. And our esteemed resource person today is Dr. Professor P.K. Singh Sahab. Thank you very much for giving your consent for delivering these lectures. And I thank all the resource person who have given their kind consent to be a resource person for this webinar program. I once again welcome everyone on my behalf as well as on behalf of the College of Horticulture and Forestry and as well as university as well. So thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir, for your address to the participants and encouraging and focusing and speaking on importance of a seed for our country. So thank you so much, sir. Now, may I request Dr. Papsila, Assistant Professor, Plant Breeding and Genetics, College of Agriculture, and Organizing Secretary of this 3 days webinar. She will be introducing the speaker to the audience. Dr. Papsila.
A very good afternoon once again. Now I would like to read out the brief data of today's speaker, Dr. Pawan Singh sir. Pawan Singh sir, he is the professor in the Department of Genetics and Plant Breeding, Institute of Agricultural Sciences, Banaras University. He has served as coordinator of plant biotechnology at RGSC Barkacha also. Professor Singh extensively worked on inventorization of germplasm of rice and maize across different agroecological zones of the country and evaluated, characterized, and conserved their genetic variability and demonstrated their potential towards moderating both biotic and abiotic stress in dev. Singh has developed medium maturing hybrid Malvia Makati and Deep Gawala with high yielding potential besides composite variety Risha Maka 1 and 2. In rice also he has successfully integrated sub-1 gene in the genetic background of 2 rice varieties, that is HUR 105 and Serzu 52 through marker-assisted by crossbreeding. Subsequently, they improved version HUR 105 sub-1 and Serzu 52 sub-1 were tested at national level and are in pipeline for release in next year. He has handled 11 externally funded projects, guided more than 12 PhD and more than 30 MSc in MSc AZ and MSc Plant Biotechnology student in capacity of principal supervisor. Professor Singh is presently published more than 105 peer-review high-impacted papers with high citation besides 55 short communication and manuscript for his committed and concerted efforts towards the cause of plant improvement. He has received a number of awards from various national and international organizations. So now I would like to request Professor Pawan Kumar Singh sir to continue his lecture for today's sessions. Please, sir.
सही हो गया, शेयर करो। Hello, am I audible?
Sir, you can. Yes, sir, audible, sir. Sir, you can start share the screen from your side.
That's up. You can share.
Yes.
You can share my slide from your end. Actually, there is technical issue. Net problem is here. So just I wish to state that please share my screen from your end.
Okay, but I have not received through email. Just can you send it, sir? That email, your slide.
Hello.
Can you send it again? Yes, sir.
Please send your email ID, sir.
Yeah, just I'm starting, sir. Just wait.
So actually, if you allow to share a screen from our end, then it will be okay. Actually, host this
Okay.
screen attend. Yes, sir.
Okay, then which name? I'll just.
Pawan Kumar Singh.
Yeah. One more thing. Make a forward. Yes. Now you can share.
Yeah.
It's 3 o'clock.
Okay.
You can send me the slides to my email, which I typed in the chat box. I'll type it once again because I have not received. That's why.
Okay, now screen is visible.
Yes, sir. It's visible.
Okay, that's fine. Okay. First of all, I would like to extend my sincere thanks to Dr. Raja and his team for inviting to me, give an opportunity to interact with students and teacher also on this forum. So really, I am very much grateful to Dr. Raja and his team. Then just I am going to start here my deliberation on the quality seed production of cereal crops through FPO, Farmers Producer Organization. Then here you can see the.
Can you make it a full screen, sir? Full screen view.
Okay.
It is in the.
Okay. Okay,
Now
fine.
it is fine, sir.
Okay.
Fine, sir.
Okay. As first we should know about the seed. What is the seed? You know, seed is an embryonic part of the plant that is enclosed with the hard seed coat, and it is comprised with the endosperm that produce then also provide some stored food material. Then even in any plant material which has got capacity to germinate is known as seed. That is like rhizome, bulb, or cutting, grafting, all comes under the seed. Means seed is a unique. It is a miniature of the plant. Means seed is ultimately it has got capacity to germinate the plant. That considered as seed, not all the grains. So here we look the Indian seed industry, then you find out the ultimately still 60% farmers are using their own seed. However, hardly 20% marketed by the either institute or public sector. And then 35% trade is growing by the public sector. However, 65% from the private partner. That means here you look the picture here, 70% of the total seed sector is in organized way. Still 30% is unorganized. It means, it indicates that there is a great scope just to set up a seed industry, seed entrepreneurship upon the seed. Means there is a high demand of the seed, but still we are just behind 30%. So there is another point is opportunity. Opportunity is still there is a SSR and SMR is very low. Then you will see in the self-pointed crop only hardly 25%, 25 to 30% is still seed replacement ratio, while in the cross-pointed crops is still 30 to 35%, and then for the hybrid no doubt 100%. So there is a greater scope to just set up your seed industry, seed business through farmer participatory mode or in a FPO by forming a farmers producer organization. Then the India has a great agroclimatic diversity. Even you can cultivate in the maize, in the high altitude, and even in the low value of the Kashmir also. High altitude means in the eastern part of our region and low valley in Kashmir. Likewise, even throughout the year, you can grow in any crop in the India. Even some crop you can harvest in the September or October. Then again you can grow in their seed in the November. So ultimately, seed chain is continuously going on. That means there is a great scope. Then this business can be, no doubt, it is anyone, school dropout or youngster or the agriculture graduates or postgraduates, even the PhD student can set up their own business because it is a white collar job. Even by wearing a high class of the jeans and t-shirt, then you can produce the seed. Since there is a lot of mechanization there, seed production, from seed production to seed storage and marketing, only there is a skill required for the marketing, from how to market from one place to another place. If there is an apple is growing in the eastern part of our region, then how can market it in the southern part of our region, even in the valley, then how to market it in the southern part of our region. So there is an involvement of scientific production of the seed, means there is a skill involvement, skill-oriented program. That's why there is an opportunity to adopt it. Then for that, what are the requirements for set up the seed industry or seed as a business model or entrepreneurship through farmers producer organization? What are the points should be come in the mind? First, you see the cultivar preference of the variety, packaging size and their price, and then what are the seed replacement ratio, and how many area is under cultivation of a particular crop, and which crop is going on, and from even which variety of the different crop is going on, and then climatic and location conditions. And a part of this selection of the site is most and foremost important for the seed production. Since you are not only going to the grain production or the commercial production, for the seed production, just you invest your huge money. So ultimately, just you want to return a handsome amount. So ultimately, there is a set up the seed processing unit also. So selection of the crop, as I said, the crop selected for the seed production in any area must be based on seed demand and marketing there. And selection of the variety and hybrid means ultimately farmers' preference of the particular variety must be noted. What are the variety is cultivating, is in cultivation, and how much in area is it is grown, and then climatic and location of the seed production is also important. Even you are going to produce the maize seed in the Rabi season, in Bihar is a very good suitable environment here. Natural God-gifted environment, even in the North India. However, in the southern part of the country, it is No doubt it is a major area where the Rabi maize is cultivation, but Bihar is an alternative way. Means in this way, you can see here the climatic and location condition, how it is important. And then further, this is the technical point. What is the isolation distance? How one variety can be maintain their genetic purity. And then for the hybrid program, the planting ratio. Suppose in the case of hybrid, you are planting male and female. Then first you see observe the what are the capacity of the female plant, how much producing capacity of the pollen of the plant. So it's depend upon the pollination behavior. Just you can ratio of the female parent increase or male parent can be decreased. So pollination behavior must be noted down, must be keep in mind before taking the seed production program of the hybrid, and then field inspection. This is the technical part, field inspection. If you are going to produce the seed, that is the breeder seed, foundation certified seed, then seed field inspection is required by a official requirement. But if you are going to produce a quality seed, then regular inspection is required from sowing to harvesting. Anytime off-type plant can be present and then can dilute your material, dilute whole lot of the seed, decrease whole lot of the seed. So field inspection is regularly required. And again, there is a synchronization of flowering and parental lines. Means if you are going to produce the hybrid rice or maize or any hybrid, then synchronization is required for the flowering. So ultimately there is need to staggered sowing. For the staggered sowing, you can maintain it. Means different date, just there is a need to planting a male or female. First you see the behavior of the pollination and then maturity and harvesting. Even in the maturity, it is very, very important. Plant must be reached to their physiological maturity. Physical maturity, as this is a very experienced person that only can observe the plant is going to be mature, even in the Rabi season also. So at the end of the maturity, then there is need to harvesting. So there is an indigenous method by putting the seed under the teeth, just you cut the seed, then ultimately you observe that or feel that the plant is reached to the maturity. Just it is a farmer's practice. But nowadays there is a machine, moisture meter are there. On that basis, you can observe as plant is reaching to the maturity or reaching to a physiological maturity. And then for the seed business through FPO, Farmers Producer Organization, the things are required seed processing unit. Just it is a not a commercial production. You are going to in a seed business. There is a very strong competition is here. From big size to mid size and small size seed industry are there. So there is a very, very tough competition. So maintain their quality, to maintain their quality, high standard along with the seed testing for the seed testing laboratory. And then packaging machine is available nowadays. Packaging also most since only it is the attractive point of the consumer for the vegetable seed, particularly for the vegetable seed. Packaging should be attractive. Likewise, you see the Horlicks or Bonvita, there is a packet in a package, there is all things are mentioned there. There is a protein, fats, sugar, vitamins, minerals are there. So like that on the seed packaging, it should be noted then how much quality, what are the quality, 100% genetic purity and moisture, all these should be mentioned. And then ultimately, the next point is seed storage. To produce the huge quality of the seed, there is need to seed storage. Seed storage is most important, very, very important. Why? Since you are harvesting the rice crop, suppose you are in a November, then ultimately you should keep for 5 months. So safe storage is essential. Without storage, you can't set up a seed industry. So all these things are required for the seed business. And then you should know what are the seed system in India. You know, there is a different type of federal country. Being a federal country, you know, there is seed system is one way. It is by controlling of a ICR or Ministry of Agriculture and Human Welfare. So for the demand, how much demand is required? Demand first be noted from bottom to the top. Bottom means just VLW, village level workers, or village level officers, block officers. Then observe how much quality seed is required, how much breeder seed is required of the particular variety. Then message passed to the director agriculture, and then district DAO, district agriculture officer. Then message passed to the director agriculture of the different states. Director agriculture passes message to the Ministry of the Agriculture, and then ultimately Ministry of the Agriculture passes message to the ICR, and then ICR again the workout how much seed of a particular variety is required, and suppose in case of wheat, DBW187 is variety. It is developed by a kernel. So this is the duty of the kernel breeder to produce the breeder seed of the DBW187. How much seed is required? Just message passes from ground level to the top level. Just it is plotted. And then again ICR given responsibility to the kernel. Yes, this is your duty to produce the suppose 20 quintal seed of breeder seed of the DBW187. And then after producing the quality seed of the breeder, then breeder passes their message to the ICR. Yes, I have produced. And through nodal agency, means every crops have their institute, Indian Institute of Wheat Research, Indian Institute of Maize Research, Indian Institute of Seed Research. So it is previously it is known as directorate, nodal agency. So it should be informed to the nodal agency, and then nodal agency informed to the again Ministry of the Agriculture, and then Ministry of Agriculture passes message to the Director Agriculture, and then Director Agriculture passes message to District Agriculture Officer, and then it reaches to the block level. Means block level to the top level, from top to block level. This is the seed supply system in India. This is the system. It is well established system of our country. So you know that there is a different kinds of seed: nucleus seed, breeder seed, foundation certified seed, and ultimately at the end of there is a commercial grain. So for the nucleus seed, it is mandatory, it is essential to produce by the respective breeder who develop the variety by 100% genetic purity. It must be ensured that 100% genetically pure. So nucleus seed of a particular variety must be produced by the breeder who develop the variety. There are different techniques. In case of self-pollinated crop, yes, definitely you go for panicle to row. But in case of cross-pollinated crops, in case of composite variety or hybrid, in case of hybrid, there is a need to maintain their parental line. Likewise, in case of composite variety, yes, if variety is limited, no doubt you can maintain in isolation. But any university or institute can develop 100 variety or 50 number or 40 number, means 40 variety or 30 variety. Then how to maintain it? Yes, it can be maintained by artificial or under controlled pollination system. Artificial system, under controlled pollination system. You know, since there are I think there is many students are there, so you should know how to maintain the genetic purity of the basic seed of the cross-pollinated crops. So if the variety is large in number, then how to maintain in a limited area? So there is a need to just grow in a 1,000 plant or 10,000 plant, 5,000 plant only. And after planting, then you go for the artificial pollination. At the time of the pollination, just you keep the pollen parent safely, means it must be covered with the tassel bag. Likewise, in case of female parent, it must be covered with the silk bag. Then after collection of the pollen from the every plant, it should be mixed, it should be bulk, and then pollinated to all the female plant. So in this way, you can maintain it not only P plus Q is equal to 1, even genetic purity 100%. Means it is a mixture of a outstanding strain. You know, the composite variety is the mixture of a outstanding strain. Usually their genetic worth is not tested. Another way, if the variety is in synthetic form, that is can be synthesized from early generation of inbred line, that inbred line can be tested for their genetic worth, general combining ability, genetic potential of the line. It shows the maximum heterosis in synthetic 1 generation and minimum inbreeding depression in succeeding generation means synthetic 2 and synthetic 3. So by a early generation of inbred line, you can be synthesized it. So there is a need to maintain in isolation. If variety is in many varieties are available in one center, then you go for the artificial pollination or artificial control system. So in this way, you can maintain it. So another point is in isolation. For the self-pointed crops in general, 3-meter isolation is required. You know, for the rice and wheat, 3-meter isolation is required. Why only 3 meters? Why not for a cross-pollinated crop like 200 meters for the certified seed? Yes, 3 meters is only, since you know the pollination behavior of the plant, it is highly clistogamous in nature. Flower does not open at all. Flowers open just after fertilization. Means there is no chance of the contamination. So only 3 meters is required. Only 3 meters. In case of nuclear seed or bitter seed or foundation or certified seed for the self-pointed crop. So for the nuclear seed, as I said, it is planted in ear to row in case of wheat and vertical to row in case of rice. So if there is any mixture is available in the line derived from the same panicle, so whole plant should be removed. Likewise, in case of breeder seed is the progeny of the nuclear seed, bulk of the nuclear seed. So if single plant is off type, then only one plant should be removed rather to the whole rows in case of breeder seed. But in case of breeder seed, monitoring is essential. As breeder seed 100% genetically pure, it must be 100% genetically pure and then produced by the breeder who is appointed under the ACRIP seed, All India Coordinated Project of Seed, or breeder himself or herself is duty to produce the intended quantity of the breeder seed. But monitoring is essential. Monitoring consisted by or comprises by a team, by one member of the State Seed Certification Agency, one from the National Seed Corporation, breeder himself or herself. Then after monitoring of the plot, as you are able to provide the tag. Otherwise, if any error is there, suppose in case of rice, it is your duty to maintain plant to plant 15 centimeter and row to row 20 centimeter. But you have not maintained it. You have just broadcasted. Means the right of the monitoring team is to reject your plot, reject your plot. So ultimately, what are the recommended practices is available is there for the specific crop, for the specific variety must be adopted as per law of the Seed Act. You know that there is a tag is required. Tag issuing authority is breeder. But in case of nuclear seed, only certificate, only you can authenticate, breeder can authenticate as it is produced under my supervision. But in case of foundation seed, as this is the third stage of the seed. So in case of foundation seed as it must be 100%, nearly 100% genetically pure, number one. Number two, it should be produced at the experimental farm of the state government or by forming a farmers producer company or by a group of the farmers, trained farmers. But breeder seed always produced at the university farm or institute farm or university farm. It cannot be produced at the farm of the state government or farmers field. But foundation seed, yes, you can be produced, but registration is required. Registration, where registration is needed, state seed certification agency is there. Then you go for the state seed certification agency. There is certain fee, as I am going to produce the foundation seed of this variety, and then only you are able to produce the foundation seed of a particular variety. Without a registration, you can't produce. So after the registration, only you are qualified to produce the foundation seed. And there is ultimately monitoring is required. Monitoring is required by a state seed certification agency or one member from the NSC if it is required. If any doubt of the variety, then seed certification agency also involve the respective breeder who developed the variety, just to clarify the doubt. So in case of breeder seed, you know, the golden color tag is required for the foundation as white color. But for the breeder seed, as I said, breeder is authority to provide the tag, but for the foundation or certified, in both category, state seed certification agency is responsible to provide the tag after passing the materials, as it is produced 100% genetically and followed all the agronomical practices. In case of certified seed, as it is the progeny of a foundation seed, just it is a multiplication, is a chain multiplication, nucleus to breeder, breeder to foundation, and then from foundation to certified seed. So certified seed can be produced by a trained growers or by a state seed certification agency or by a Bij Nigam or Bij Rajya Bij Nigam. They can produce, but solely seed inspector is responsible to see the quality of the variety. Seed inspector who is appointed in a particular area is responsible, it is his duty to look after the quality of the seed, of the certified seed, as the seed has followed variety of a, suppose if there is a one variety HUW234 of the wheat, as what are the agronomical practices are there, as these are the adopted here. So by in this way you can produce, no doubt blue color tag is required for the certification for the certified seed. So foundation and certified seed tag is showing authority, monitoring, all must be done by a seed certification agency. But for the breeder seed, monitoring, as I said, there is a team, tag is showing authority is breeder. But as before set up a business in a FPO form, farmers producer organization, always must be keep in your mind pro and cons. What are the merit, what are the demerit, what are the positive point, what are the negative point. So higher seed production cost, no doubt, this is not a commercial production. You are going to produce a quality seed. So here the involvement of a cost, huge money is required for purchasing of the seed, for hiring the technical expertise, for monitoring, for storage, for processing. So ultimately money is involved. Lack of mechanization. Still, the farm land size is too low. especially in a hilly region where only farmers have their rich farmers have only 2 acre or 4 acre land. Then there is a difficulty how to manage it. So by creating a farmers producer company, only it is an alternative way to produce the quality seed in those areas where the land holding size is too low. So this is another advantage. This is an opportunity. Then another constraint is inadequate trained manpower. As it's not simple like a commercial production. Trained manpower means at the time of the rowing means remove the off-type plant, unwanted plant, undesirable plant, then trained manpower can do it. So by the providing a passport data of a particular variety, on that variety you can match it as it is true and true type. So in this way, there is a required high skill. And in India, also poor seed supply chain. Inadequate seed storage facility. Still, the farmers are not able to have their own storage facility. Even from the government side also, there is not a sufficient storage where the farmers can keep their seed in a season, and then they can market in the off season. So ultimately for seed business, as I said earlier, storage facility is required. Limited financial support by the government. But nowadays, just it is changed, not limited. Then Government of India and NABARD and NSFM, National Food Security Mission, RKVY, Rashtriya Krishi Vikas Yojana, they come forward and provide a huge amount for set up the seed industry. And then low investment, still farmers are just wish to spend their low inputs, even they are going to produce the seed, and then climate change. This is the very changeable, nowadays it is a challenging point, climatic change. So by just before set up the seed industry in the particular area, just to observe, just to work out the climatic condition. As this is another point, as I said, FPO. Our objective is the quality seed production of the cereal crops through farmers producer company. So first we should know what do you mean by farmers producer company? As only it is the hybrid between private companies and cooperative sectors. Just it is a hybrid. It is not a private. It is not like a private companies or not like a cooperative societies. Just it is a hybrid. Means it is run by and owned by the farmers. Farmers is the user and farmers are the administrator. So the organizing farmers is collective to improve their strength in the market. By organizing a group of farmers, they can show their strength. As we have produced the seed of a particular variety, but we cannot market it at this price. This is the low price. So this is the collective, or you can say this is the unique strength of the farmers. Farmers can bargain it, as by investing this amount, I can sold out on that amount. So producer companies also objective to integrate small holders. You know, the size of the holding is very small. Most of the farmers are belong to marginal and some marginal groups. So their objective of the FPO to integrate themselves by forming a group. At least 50 persons are required, but maybe 1,000, 1,000, 10,000. And it must be registered by Indian Companies Act 1956. And this FPO, at least 50 members should be there, more than 50, but minimum 50 is required. And their paid up equity does not go beyond rupees 30 lakhs. So permitted shareholding by any one member other than the institutional member is not exceeding 5%. Most shareholding of institutional members should not be more than 10% of the total equity. And ultimately, it has to be controlled by board of the directors. Board of the directors, there are 5 directors. 5 directors, one is looking for the account, one is looking the seed production system. Likewise, there is a 5 directors are there, and there are different seed promoter, just promoting their business for farmer. This is the beauty, from farmers to farmers. Just you can start your business by organizing or by forming a FPO. Who is the individual? Ultimately farmers. Who is the officer? Ultimately it is the farmers. Who will be benefited? Ultimately farmers. There is no mediator are there, no middleman is there. So ultimately what are the profit are there? That profit should be divided among the whole farmers according to their land holding or shareholding. So before setup, there is a plan of 18 months, 1.5 years, and every year's accountability is required. Means audit requirement. It must be audited. If FPO is defaulter, then ultimately their registration will be cancelled. They will be debarred. FPO will be debarred. So every year's AOC is required. Account audited by a chartered account, CA, for a minimum at least 1 year, at least one time in a year. There is an advantage. As advantage is that the supply of the seed is highly pure, true type, and then also increase our seed replacement ratio, empower self-sufficiency, self-reliance to the farming community. Those are belongs to the poor sector, small farmers, and increase faith among the farmers about the quality. Why? Because they are the producer, they are the user, they are producing their seed themselves. So ultimately, they are the user, they are the producer, they are the officer. Give the producer and consumer to being mutually benefited. Definitely, if the cost is low of the seed production, ultimately the price of the seed is low. So in both way will be benefited. Open the door for fast dissemination of a new cultivar of different kinds. Suppose the variety is developed by a central agriculture industry in fall, but it does not reach to the farmers. Since the most of the farmers are belong to influence area, transport facility is not available. So in those area, by farming a FPO, farmers producer company, as you can provide the seed at their doorstep. This is the beauty of the FPO. Then exclude the role middleman, as I said, no middleman is there. Encourage collaborative research and development activities among government organization and private organization also. As by a farming community, by forming a farmers producer company, the directors, promoters, farmers, they can say, yes, I am a shareholder of this company. I am a director of this company. I am a promoter of this company. They feel highly elevated in a society. They can maintain their car and everything what are they required. And then you can see here just I have tried to put here some name of the farmers producer company, Longai Fish Producer Company, Karimganj, Assam, Likewise, many companies are there, belongs to Assam. Even in Meghalaya, East India Hill Farmers Producer Company for the vegetable. And then this Farmers Producer Company belongs to the East Kasi Hill district. And there is just, I have tried to put up there only two Chandauli Kala Chawal seed producer for the paddy, and for another Isani Agro Farmers Producer Company. Both are belongs to the Varanasi previously, but nowadays the district is changed. Now it comes under the Chandauli, and then one for paddy, another for cereals. But many of the farmers producer company are there. Many of them are involved in producing the. Someone is the fish production. Someone is the wild seed production. Someone is the hybrid seed production of the vegetable crops, and someone in the production of the organic farming. So in this way, there is a lot of the farmers producer companies working here in India. Just here you can see the glimpses of the quality seed production. As before going to put up the seed in the soil, there is an essential seed treatment. It's a very essential. Not only it is just to avoid the free to disease and pest, also start to activate their metabolic activities. Means seed priming. If you just go to 30 years back, then not for you, just you are, I think most of the students are belongs to only hardly in 35 to 40 or 30 to 35 in age. But some of your teacher realized that previously, before sowing of the seed, just seed priming were done by the farmers, our ancestors. Why? Just to activate their metabolic activity before one day. If moisture is little bit low in soil, then in this condition, as by seed priming, the seed can germinate. Then how to prepare the seed bed for rice? You can see here, just to open the furrow, to put the panicle to row, panicle in this furrow, and then sowing of the seed along with the panicle. As I said earlier, for the quality seed, for true and true type of seed, just you should know the characteristics of the variety. On that basis, you can isolate true and true type of panicle, and that panicle should be planted in nursery. As after planting, watering is here, just you can imagine, after 21 days old cell, now it is prepared for the transplant. Now it's ready for the transplanting. This nursery is ready for the transplanting in a main field. So here is the uprooting of a single panicle and to make a bundle, not whole panicle, not whole seed lot. Just by putting a single panicle, germinate it after 21 days old, then just uprooted it, only single panicle, then make a bundle. And then simultaneously there is need to prepare a main plot for the transplanting. So before the transplanting, there is planking is necessary to make a level soil, and then with the help of the rope, just you can maintain line to line distance or plant to plant distance. Even the skilled farmers can maintain line to line and plant to plant distance just by their experience. This is the beauty of the skilled persons. Just putting on single hill, you can see here there is a isolation between these two variety. There is 3 meter isolation. But for the cross-pollinated crop, just 200 for certified, for 400 foundation seed. And then you can see here the just plot of the breeder seed. For the breeder seed, just after 8 rows, you can see here after 8 rows, 50 centimeter place should be leave. Why? Just for culturing and other operations. Means other operation, other special operation means roguing. Just the one person can see in both way just by moving their head, as this is the off type plant. So after 8 rows, after every 8 rows, it is essential to leave 50 centimeter distance between these 8 rows. Then after weeding operation is essential, it must be free from the weeds, off type plant, unwanted plant. Our objective is clear cut to produce a quality seed. To compete in the market, seed quality must be maintained. Yes. You can see here, this is the off type plant is rogued out. And then identification of off type plant. How you can identify it is off type plant? On the basis of the leaf shape, leaf color. If there is any doubt, as panicle is similar, just you go for the another characteristics. Since here your objective is to maintain the quality of the seed, good quality of the seed. If there is only one plant is live in the field, then ultimately one plant can produce at least 20 tillers, and one tillers produce one panicle have at least 200 grains. So it means 4,000 grain there are mixed type and they can appear in the next season. So ultimately in seed business, seed entrepreneurship, through FPO, it is essential to produce the quality seed. As on the basis of the descriptor is nothing. Only before identification, special characteristics is required. Some special characteristics is required. On that characteristics, you can identify. So in the government of India, in the seed system, in the varietal system, before releasing the variety, the dust testing is required. On that basis, you can differentiate as this is another variety. This is the true type of plant. On the basis of the passport data, you can say it as it is right. So at the time of the flowering stage, means inspection is not only required at the time of the pre-flowering, at the time of the flowering, post-flowering, means ultimately right from sowing to harvesting must be required to review the off-type plant. Then at the maturity, at the end of the maturity, just you can select the single panicle again for the production of the nucleus seed, and then their bulk seed can be used for the breeder seed in the next generation. So ultimately, in other words, you can say breeder seed is just, it is the progeny of the nucleus seed. And then harvested panicle, there is a tabletop examination is here. So by magnifying glass, you can observe. So selection is rigorous. 99% rejection is required to select a best type of good quality of seed. So if there is any doubt upon the any panicle, then can we discard it, whole rows during the nucleus seed production program, or single plant during the breeder seed, foundation seed, and certified seed. And then bagging of the quality seed is required. Preferably in our country, some part is dry and some part is humid. So jute bag is a good quality to keep the seed. But nowadays, the super bag is coming in the market and already came in the market, and most of the seed producers company, farmers producer company are using super bag. But in case of super bag, it is essential just to have a optimum moisture. In case of cereals, 10 to 30% moisture is permissible to keep their seed for the one season. For the next season, if moisture is too low or too high, ultimately if too low, respiration system is lost, ultimately their viability will be loose. While in the case of high moisture, they invite to the insect pest disease also, and during processing, the grain may be damaged, the seed may be damaged. Thank you all. This is all about seed. Okay. Thank you very much, Dr. Raja and Dr. Babsila, for giving me an opportunity to interact with the student and scientist from this platform. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir, for your wonderful presentation. This topic on seed production, it was very informative, and most of our undergraduate students and postgraduate students and PhD students, they have joined here. Sir, if you spend a little more minutes to answer the queries, if any students or participants have raised.
It will be highly.
So, dear participant, if you have any questions and queries, you can ask directly to the sir. I'll unmute everyone. So please, now you can ask the questions directly to sir. So any questions from participant side, you can unmute and you can ask directly. If it is any problem, you can type it in the chat box or also. I think no questions, sir. I think all they understood well, and they were hesitant, or they understood. I think your topic of a presentation was very nice with the PPT, with the very good pictures and the field visit and the procedures and the protocols. So if there is no more questions, on behalf of organizing committee and the College of Horticulture and Forestry from IDP Nahib, sir, we profusely thank you for sparing your valuable time and giving the lectures. And sir, that is a wonderful topic. Our students, I hope they have learned a lot of things from these lectures, and they will use it. Even many of the students, this Northeast is a huge potential for the students to become entrepreneurship in the area of seed production, because the quality indigenous varieties and the seedlings, it's not available. So it will be a very good opportunity for the students. So thank you very much, sir. From our side, we thank you once again. And all the participants, we will have a next session on Monday, 10:30 a.m. So tomorrow there won't be any session. So Monday we will meet at 10:30 a.m. Thank you so much. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.